Welcome back. Welcome to Viva La Coin. Look at this. Look at this. We got the mic in the frame. The lighting isn't terrible now. My camera still isn't set up. I'm using my laptop, and buddy, we're getting there. On that note, I am still not a financial advisor, and I would not recommend that you take advice from me. This is purely educational, and I would like you to be able to make your own informed and educated decisions. In today's video, we are going to dive into Coinbase. What the exchange looks like, how to configure a couple different things, and I'm even going to give an example in buying $100 worth of Bitcoin so that you can see the visual of it. Now, bear in mind, I already have my account set up for some time, so I can't show you the official setup process. However, when you go in to download it, either on your phone, your Android, or iPhone, whatever phone you use, or if you do it online, you'll go through a verification process. And that process will verify your identity. It will sync up your bank account using a third-party API called Plaid. And you'll just use your normal bank login information. A couple different exchanges use that API. And once everything is cleared and set up, you'll be able to access the exchange, make purchases, and trade, and so on. Coinbase, in my opinion, is one of the better exchanges available in the United States. My favorite exchange is not available here. That is Binance, not Binance US, which we're going to cover, just Binance in general. Binance is the largest exchange in the world, and it's not available in the US and in a few other high-flying countries like Syria and the Congo, solely just due to some issues in how we see them from the governmental level and some other bigger problems that I'll get into down the road. Not from the exchange side, but from our side. Now, when you get into Coinbase and you go to purchase different things, there are going to be a couple key items that I want everyone to pay attention to, and it's going to help educate you before you make decisions. Because you're going to see, although we haven't covered them yet, other altcoins and other projects that are far cheaper than Bitcoin that people start to see some green candles and see some movement and jump into. I don't want anyone to make any mistakes. So I'm going to cover those projects separately, but I'm just going to point out a couple things so that you can educate yourself in the interim. Now, one last thing I'm going to mention before we go into the actual visuals is that from a fee standpoint, Coinbase does have some of the higher fees compared to other exchanges. Now, I justify it like this. So Coinbase is a very large exchange, very secure exchange, and although they have their issues with crashing in the past, it's gotten significantly better. Sometimes people will say, "Oh, their infrastructure is terrible and nothing's built." No one was in crypto. No one was in crypto for the most part, aside from the people that were the early adopters. And then every 4 years, just millions of people rush in and they're like, why isn't everything built? It's because you weren't here. That's like you contracting someone to build you a house and showing up on the first day of digging the foundation and wondering why the plumbing isn't working. It takes time to build these infrastructures and to get everything up and running. So take those reviews with a grain of salt because things are getting significantly better. But as far as the fees go, it is a little bit higher, but you'll own the cryptocurrency. You'll actually have the Bitcoin within your portfolio or in your wallet should you take it off the exchange. A little bit more in-depth concept that we'll go into. On other trading apps that a lot of people were using, such as, let's say, Robinhood, for example, there were no fees, but then again, you didn't own it. They just said that you owned it, and that was your dollar amount in there. But if you went to sell it, then you're only getting that money back. You can't take your Bitcoin and pull it into your hard wallet. You can't move it from their exchange to a different exchange because you don't own it. You just own the value of it. And that actually came up in their court case over the course of this past week that now they intend to give everyone their actual crypto. But if Bitcoin goes up the way that we anticipate, then they're going to have a very hard problem gathering that much Bitcoin and paying that out. So, take that for what it is. But I believe that those fees are part of why Coinbase is functional and why you actually own the crypto as opposed to Robinhood's facade, so to speak. So, we're going to go ahead and jump into the actual application. Now, I'm going to show you my account directly. Most of my stuff isn't on Coinbase currently. I do not keep my crypto on exchanges. I either have them in soft wallets, which are just wallets online but external from the exchange that I can transfer my cryptocurrency to that protects it, or I'll put it onto a hard wallet, which that is probably the largest leap in logic that most people have to make, where you take it offline altogether and you put it in essentially a glorified USB device where you have a series of security measures in crypto, private keys that you can access it. And that's like when you hear about all these nightmarish stories about people forgetting their keys. That's where it occurs. So we'll be very in depth when we go through that with you. But for the sake of the video, so I'm not wasting too much of your time, this is the exchange. So when you log in, it's going to look much different for you. You're not going to have any history up there. And all of the altcoins that you're going to see on your homepage, along with Bitcoin, are going to be different. I configured mine just based on some projects I was currently tracking, some of which aren't even available on Coinbase. I just favorited them to show there. I can't purchase them here, but just think about it like an update hub for me when I jump in. If I want a quick rundown of where everything's at, or if I want to buy or sell more of a particular project. So within Coinbase, you're going to have a couple main tabs. So this homepage will always show you a list of cryptos, and if you don't edit it at all, it will just have it broken down by market cap, so Bitcoin will always be at the top of that list. You'll have your portfolio, which mine just looks like I only did one thing a little bit earlier in this, but it's pretty much empty. I have a little bit of Ethereum, a little bit of Bitcoin, and some Cosmos for the sake of an example I'm going to make a little bit later in this video. But if you want to see anything that you purchase and what percentage of your portfolio they make up, you'll be able to see that under that portfolio tab. And I'll come back to this portion in a second. There is a pricing tab. So this will break down everything within Coinbase and what their prices are currently at and if they are up or down for the day. So you'll be able to see the pricing changes as they go, to see where the movers are, if any certain altcoins are pumping or hurting. And you can switch this tab from tradable assets, which are the ones that are available on Coinbase. If you're in tradable assets, that's what's available on Coinbase. You can go to top gainers, so I can see who's doing the best. And right now it's Uniswap, which is a decentralized exchange I'm going to do a separate video on. And you can see that they're at that highest gain percentage. And then top losers, you can see those as well. So it's just a better way for you to understand what's going on in the space as a whole. And if you click all assets, that will show everything, including the ones that I may have added that aren't available on Coinbase, but I favorited any way to stay on top of. Now, also within this platform, you'll have additional educational resources. I haven't really gone too in depth on this, so I can't speak to it from experience, but if they're putting up different education, different news about crypto, and you're new to this space, I would probably recommend that you dig into this. They've had a couple different aspects where they've broken down if they'll add a new cryptocurrency or a new token or coin to the site, they'll usually give a couple like videos and courses on it. Sometimes even have like a question and answer quiz where once you complete it, you'll get a couple dollars worth of that new project. It's definitely something that can help familiarize you with that space. As far as when you guys sign up, if you do, I'm going to put a link down in the description. If you use that referral link, you'll get $10 in Bitcoin once you buy or sell $100 worth of crypto, as will I. That's going to Drew's Hooked on Phonics. But you don't have to use that link. But if it's free $10 worth of Bitcoin to you, you're more than welcome to use it. And I'm not going to go into any of the rewards or staking or anything like that. We're not getting that in depth within this video. I don't want to oversaturate you with new information. On a baseline, what I want to cover is just buying and selling cryptocurrency in a nutshell. So for the sake of this video, I am going to buy Bitcoin. So whether you're using the mobile app or you're using the website, you're going to have a buy and sell tab. And when you click into that, it will give you the option to buy, sell, or convert. So in this scenario, we are going to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. Now, remember, my bank account was already synced up by Plaid, that third-party API. And down below, it will give you your current balance in Coinbase of whatever coin that you're going to purchase. So before anything is finalized, you can preview that buy, and it will tell you how much of a Bitcoin you're buying. And if you guys watched, and I hope you did, our video breaking down what is Bitcoin, you'll know that every Bitcoin can break down to 100 million Satoshis or 100 million parts. So in this case, $100 will give me 0.001706962 Bitcoin, or 170,962 Satoshis. And there's that $2.99 fee from Coinbase in order to do that transaction and to make sure that everything goes through. Now, when I do make a purchase, it's going to take 1 or 2 days for those funds to clear from my bank, but it's still going to show up in my portfolio. Be careful if you are going in and buying crypto and you're looking at your bank account, you're like, oh, I have $250 left, even though I was buying some yesterday. Make sure that those transactions have posted, because there have been times in the past where they may show up a day later, or if it's right before the weekend, they don't show on your banking history. And then you run the risk of overdrafting, and I don't want to see anyone have any overdraft fees. But let's say we double check everything. That's how much Bitcoin we're going to receive in that purchase. Here's how much we already had. So I'm going to go ahead and hit buy now. And usually Coinbase is pretty quick. It will only see very slight periods where it'll go down if Bitcoin skyrockets out of nowhere, drops or sinks like a stone. Like I think the last time my particular app went down was when Elon Musk announced that Tesla was buying Bitcoin. And it was only for like an hour that I was having issues getting on, just due to the absolute network overload that people were experiencing. So that purchase is done. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh the page. And if I go back into my portfolio, I should be able to see that I now have $192 worth of Bitcoin in this account, or a total of 0.0034 in change Bitcoin, or 340,000 Satoshis. Now, it will break down how much of your portfolio is made up of each project. And if, let's say, you were to go and sell it, you can go into that same buy and sell tab, and you would just go to sell. And if I sold to US dollars, if I just sold to cash, then it would just go into US dollars, which I could withdraw into my account. Typically, different exchanges will have a certain amount of time before you can withdraw or transfer money. So I'm not going to withdraw that, and I don't want to speak to what the waiting period is on Coinbase. I do believe that it is 5 or 6 days. If I were to purchase this before I would send it to a different exchange, it holds it there. I don't know if it has to do with them not wanting people buying a bunch and sending it out, but nonetheless, just be careful about loading up on everything, expecting to pull it that day. And I use several different exchanges for that purpose if I'm trying to do larger moves or projects. Now, when you go to this tab again, you're going to see a third option, which is convert. Now, in the event that, let's say, I saw Bitcoin was down and I wanted to buy more of it, I didn't really have any money in my account, or, Ethereum just hasn't been moving and it's really, not the best play, and maybe I want to buy more Bitcoin. Well, instead of having to enter more money into my account from my bank account or buying Bitcoin outright, I can convert the Ethereum I have to Bitcoin. Now, there are fees associated with these transfers as well. But if I were to transfer my Bitcoin or my Ethereum over to Bitcoin, I would be able to purchase a certain amount of it. So actually, that might have lagged a little bit. So I am trying to go from Ethereum to Bitcoin. So let's go back to our portfolio. And for the sake of this example, let's transfer just a little bit of Ethereum over into Bitcoin. So let's convert. And I'm going to send it from my Ethereum wallet and I'm going to change it into Bitcoin. And let's do $100. So my total Ethereum count, 0.5278, will be transferred over into Bitcoin. And that equivalent value of Bitcoin, since it's more expensive, is 0.00172. So I'm going to hit preview conversion, although just keep in mind, if you ever wanted to convert your whole amount of a certain coin, you can hit convert all. It will do that calculation for you and then get ready to preview that conversion. However, I am not going to do that because Ethereum just broke $2,000 and I feel pretty good about it, even though most of my Ethereum is off of Coinbase currently. So let's preview conversion. Let's let this load just for 1 second and let's go ahead and convert. Okay, so you can see in the background it already updated that balance. So that was already done. And if I go back to my portfolio, I should be able to see that I now have $289 worth of Bitcoin, and now I have $934 of Ethereum instead of $1,034. Now, I'm losing a little bit of money every time I transfer things back and forth. And what I warn people is don't get antsy and you just start switching things back and forth constantly trying to catch like $1 or $2 gains, because you're going to eventually just whittle slowly away at the amount of money you have in the account with the fees in the transfer. So doing your research and understanding where you're putting your money is always your best bet. And one last thing I'll point out about that is for some of these projects, if they're unfamiliar to you, and I'm going to use Ethereum as an example, and also if you want them to show on your home screen, whichever ones you like the most, just add them to your watch list and that will put them on there and you can rearrange it from that point. But any altcoin that you're interested in, I'm going to make several series about different altcoins that I personally am invested in, that I believe in, not just for this bull run, but in the long term as well. But if you go into them before those videos are up and you want to learn a little bit more, you can see their information both in what their total market cap is, which, remember, market cap is just how much money is in that project based on the cost of the coin and the circulating supply. So you'll be able to see those metrics there. But down below, if it's available on Coinbase, if it's one of the projects available, and I believe right now they have about 45, they'll typically have an official website and also their white paper, which is their proof of concept or their initial breakdowns of exactly how a project is supposed to operate. So you'll be able to open up any of this information and you'll be able to do additional research, or just go to their official website as well and dig deeper into what the specific projects are, because it does get incredibly complicated, which is why I'm not going into sending and receiving to different exchanges. I'm not covering the other exchanges in this video. I'm not covering staking. I'm not even covering the other altcoins. Bit by bit, I want everyone to have a decent footing in being able to purchase cryptocurrency, being able to sell cryptocurrency, and just getting their foot in the door. As this develops and as we get more videos out, or if you have any questions that you want to leave down in the comments below, we're happy to answer. We will add upon this. This is a marathon. It is not a sprint. We are early to this space, and we have another full 4-year cycle that will begin as soon as this year ends, and you're ahead of the curve. Aside from that, I appreciate spending this time with you, and I would appreciate if you could like this video, share it with anyone else that's been asking about Coinbase or asking how to get started in purchasing cryptocurrency. And as always, have a wonderful day, and Viva la Coin.